back in the conference tournament chase, and an improved defensive backfield. Welcome to our regular edition of the Green Wave Report from On SI Tulane. I'm Doug Joubert. The Green Wave Report is a weekly rundown of stories we put together, analysis of what went on and what you can expect later in the week from On SI Tulane, part of the Sports Illustrated Network. If you like what we produce each week, we'd appreciate it if you'd like our stories and subscribe to our YouTube channel. It helps us in knowing what you like and what you don't like. With their backs against the wall, Tulane baseball found itself getting clobbered on Friday night at home to, at the time, fellow cellar dweller, South Florida. A stern talking to from their head coach left the Sluggabirds with a choice: quit or give a better collective effort. Wins on Saturday and Sunday told the story, as the Green Wave have a chance to make it into the American Conference Tournament next week, as they travel to Houston for the regular season-ending series against Rice this coming weekend starting on Thursday. This Tulane team has shown flashes of who they could be this season. They've taken 2 or 3 from East Carolina. They went to Wichita, took 2 or 3 there. They beat a ranked Southern Miss squad 2 weeks ago. Unfortunately, the flashes have not been sustained, which is why the Green Wave find themselves looking for a way to get into the American Conference Tournament. They're now 10-14. That puts the Wave tied for 9th place. Only 8 get into the league tourney. The Sluggabirds know what they have to do to get in. A sweep of Rice this weekend would help. The Owls, though, are one of the hottest teams in the American. They've won 6 of their last 7. They swept UAB. They took 2 of 3 from ECU. So can this Tulane team sustain the momentum gained from their Saturday and Sunday wins over a just as desperate to win team, South Florida? Can they do that this weekend? We'll find out starting Thursday. This is the final of our 4-part examination of where the Tulane football program sits after the first spring of Hall ball. Week 1, we talked about the quarterback room. Week 2, we examined the offensive and defensive line play. Last week, we looked at the running backs. And now we're going to be talking about the defensive secondary. Don't mean to use or even overuse superlatives, but this may be the best defensive backfield we've seen in Uptown in a while. The corners and safeties play physical. They have long reach. Coverage in spring was so tight sometimes it was like Tulane receivers had an extra jersey on. We said last year the Tulane secondary needed to play more physical to keep up with teams like Ole Miss. They've done that aplenty this spring, especially with the addition of Macho Stevenson. The spring results by the secondary showed a more aggressive approach to guarding receivers, and that was without Jack Chinchu, who is recovering from shoulder surgery. The reigning American Conference Championship Contest player of the game will be ready for the fall. As we covered earlier in our critique, the defensive line was stout this spring, and we didn't even talk about linebackers, which should be the strength of this side of the ball, with Chris Rogers, the star of that group. Defensive coordinator Taylor Polk has brought an energy to the entire defensive side of the ball. If you don't know who he is, then this fall, be looking for the guy who's jumping up and down and gyrating on the sidelines and sometimes on the field more than anyone else. The Tulane University Swimming and Diving Program announced the hiring of Kat Mueller as the assistant swimming coach. Also, the Tulane Beach Volleyball Program ended up ranking 20th in the final American Volleyball Coaches Poll. This is the second time Tulane has been ranked in the final AVCA poll of a season since joining Conference USA after finishing the 2023 season at number 18. And that beach volleyball team, of course, went to its first ever NCAAs. We hope you've enjoyed our regular edition of the Green Wave Report. We'll be back next Monday at 4 p.m. Central Daylight Time. I'm Doug Joubert.